Hello, Uta here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel with my latest knitting project. I'm running out of the green, so it's going to be blue for the second half of it. A little gift for a friend of mine, and I had started it back when I really couldn't see so well after having one cataract surgery and the other eye being uncorrectable. And so I was trying to knit without looking, which I can kind of do if it's all one color. And now I'm back to being able to do more complicated things. And knitting also is a restorative kind of an activity. It's tactile and it requires just a little bit of thought and processing. It's creative, and I find it soothing. I do the Scandinavian way, holding the thread, the yarn on my left. I know the Brits do this thing with their right hand. Either way, it involves both sides of the brain because of little things that you're doing, and that is one way that these movements, like my wellness movements, are soothing to the mind. And I used to, when I worked with special needs children, I used to have all sorts of little finger plays and things that we would do to have our hands and legs crossing over the midline, because it does have a centering and calming effect. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. My WordPress blog is utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com. It is almost always at the end of the description of the video, and it will be in this one for sure. Now, I'm going to also give you a little window. Today's, oops, where's the thing? Oh my goodness. Yes. Today's video is on how did polyamory become so popular? And I've been promising this. This is one reason that I'm motivated to do this topic is because this was suggested to me by Ruth the Charlatan, Nettie's so-called therapist. She was a charlatan. She had no credentials. So I just am going to go into that in just a minute. And then the next one, little preview, is going to be about these dudes and how some of them, oh, there's a circle around run, had, gotten in trouble with the law because of messing around with children. And so that kind of fits in and dovetails with the Alok, the non-binary femme person who thinks that there is no such thing as a pure and innocent victim of child sexual molestation. But see, the thing is, polyandry, or what is it called again? Polyamory. Okay. It means many loves, I guess. That's kind of creepy, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, so that is, the messing with children is one tangent off of the cross-sex ideation bubble. And then this polyamory, infidelity, open marriage piece is another tangent off of that bubble, and it is related and parallel to the tangent of kink. And all of those were kind of emerging as trends, I guess you could say, back in the 1990s when I was witnessing and discovering my ex Nettie's infidelities and secret life as a crossdresser, all this. Now, I'm just going to kind of skim through this. So how did polyamory become so popular, wonders the New Yorker in a late December article. I guess that's late December of 2023. And the New York Times gushes in a January 13th, 2024 article how a polyamorous mom had a big sexual adventure and found herself. Yeah, that's what Ruth the Charlatan wanted me to do as one of the ways to not divorce the dude. More articles rapidly followed. New York Magazine's January 16th cover article was a practical guide to modern polyamory. So that's the thing, is those particular sort of theatrical and dramatic publications pick it up because it's clickbait. And kind of like, I'm going to quote Ray Blanchard, who famously said, Dr. Ray Blanchard, the psychologist who won't admit it, but he did promote sex change, so-called. And he, when referring to women like me, the ex-wives, he said, oh, the women don't like it, or the wives don't like it. And then that's how they just dismiss us, which is why I'm here talking to you. Okay, so, and the thing is, I actually believe that those dudes, what I call them, what do we call them? The four horsemen of the apocalypse, Blanchard, Zucker, Cantor, and Bailey. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Yeah, I think that they wanted to be cool back in the 1990s, and they were trying to make psychology cool and have new diagnoses and stuff like that. And so they did not think at all about what are the experiences of the people who are basically collateral damage. And once I suggested on a Gen Spect video underneath either Cantor or Bailey that what they should have had is a parallel independent study of the wives and children of these cross-dressing men who think that they're going to be so much more important if they get diagnosed as a so-called transsexual. And this whole idea of kink and sexual adventures is really a part of this, and this is probably why those psychologists who were regarding themselves as explorers, why they didn't bother to study us, because then they would have been told our stories about our husbands' infidelities and the devastating financial effects of all of this on the wives and the children. So the Wall Street Journal warned, you're looking for the one. Okay. Oh, and it's dating app users, right? Looking for another one. Yeah. There's someone with a funny name, Madison something. In the comments, you can write that down. Oh, yes. Quick reminder, please do like, subscribe if you haven't, and write some kind of a comment giving us pieces of information about this, people you've known, anything else that you want to tell me, because sometimes I do research and I follow up, just like I did with Alok Vade Menon, the non-binary femme dude who says all this stuff about children. Okay. Okay, they're saying, is our society shifting? Is being monogamous soon going to be yet another thing that sets apart religious Americans from everyone else? I really think plenty of non-believers do not want their marriage to suddenly be open. They don't want to take risks of STDs, and they don't want to share this intimate, developed relationship with some new person. Okay, so this writer is Katrina Trinko. This is the Daily Signal. Okay. There is some evidence that polyamory is catching on. A third of singles have been in a non-monogamous relationship, according to a 2023 survey of American singles by Match, a dating site company. So this is the thing. I mean, think about the conflict of interest of this so-called research and surveys and stuff by the dating app people, because of course they're going to get more business if, even if you found someone, you are still going to go out looking more. Is it Ashley Madison? I think that's what it is. Ashley Madison. And this is Ashley Madison is like this dating site for people who are married but they want something outside of that. And one time someone that I was close to, a young woman, told me that she had been waiting in a bar restaurant in Park Slope, Brooklyn, on I think it was 9th Street and 7th Avenue. I don't remember what the place is called. Used to have a cow out in front of it. They had good burgers. Anyway, she was there waiting for a friend from college or high school, and the father of someone that she knew from middle school tried to pick her up for this nonsense. So just think about that. That's someone who was around her father's age trying to pick her up. I don't know if she was as honest with him as I would have been. Okay, perusing data apps. This author says, I've seen men saying they're in an open relationship and looking for another. Don't believe that for a minute. No, no. Also, if you've got a hint of this, if you make the mistake of slipping off the clothes and doing something, hitting the hay together, when he's in the bathroom or something, take a look in his wallet and make sure that he is who he says he is, and make sure that he's born in the year that he said he was, because it's likely that they lied about that too. An astonishing 51% of 18 to 29-year-olds say that an open marriage is acceptable, according to Pew Research Center. That was a study conducted April last year. What is going on? So there's a new book called More, a memoir of open marriage by Molly Roden Winter, a Brooklyn wife, of course. I'm sure it's Park Slope. And mother who chronicles her adventures in polyamorous relationships. Okay, so she got interviewed. I'm sure that she got paid to be published. The publishers loved this. They don't make those offers to us trans widows. Okay, the message is clear. Just as we can love multiple children, so can we love multiple romantic partners. But then how do you do this? How do you love your children who you had with one partner and also leave all of them and go out having your adventures? That's what I told Ruth I didn't understand. And I actually told her that I felt that I would be cheating on my children, not just my husband. And what I should have realized at the time, I should have understood this confirms that Nettie was unfaithful to me. He maintained until now that he was not unfaithful to me, but I don't know. I found stuff. It's pretty clear. He wanted to figure out what it would be like with a man. Okay, so this Molly Winter was really shocked, and then suddenly Nate arrived, and I love them both. She recounts. Now, what I want to know is there any woman who's going to be reading this book? It doesn't say whether Winter changed their names, or even if they change their names, is there any woman who's going to recognize something and realize that her husband has been doing this? She thought they were in a monogamous marriage, and actually, he's been going around saying that he had a business meeting, but he was doing this other stuff. And what if somebody actually gets, so they assume that no woman in this is accidentally going to get pregnant, and then you're going to have a child with a father that's not the father of your other children. And she paints herself as the protagonist, and her husband, Stu, I think that's a great name for him. Stu. Like a mess of pottage from the Bible. Oh, Stu sees a flirty text from another man to Molly, and they had been married for a decade, and he advocates that Molly, who did not plan to have further contact with the man, sleep with him. Okay, this is really creepy. It's creepy. Like, don't you get the feeling that Stu wants to sleep with the guy? It's just weird. Okay, feminism in the 2020s. It's no longer enough to sleep with your husband. Now you also have to gratify him sexually by sleeping with other men. But I don't know what happened to Nate, but she sleeps with Matt. Okay. She convinced herself it's what I want. See, and this is why I wanted to talk about this whole thing and the brainwashing and the gaslighting, because this is exactly the same brainwashing and gaslighting. Brainlighting, maybe a gas washing and brainlighting. Hey, maybe we've got some new terms. Okay. Oh my goodness. Molly recounts being teary, worried that Matt won't cheat on his girlfriend again with her. Like, that's something that I don't get. You know, I don't. Don't do that to another woman. That's also, blech, what are you going to get? Yeah, some parasite. Ugh. Another fling calls her one day for an afternoon sex session that she describes as consensual, but also rougher than I want it to be. She decides to prioritize the man's needs. I give myself over to his desires and try to squelch my own. I'm going to end here because that's exactly what trans widows get asked to do. And now it's just about dusk, and I'm going to do that walk to see the solar lights over in my favorite, lovely, big, old cemetery, scenic with beautiful trees and so on. Oh, just one last little note. I had my good friend over for an omelet. That's my usual. And I tried making a souffle for a friend once, but she came late. So then by then the souffle had fallen. So if you come over to my house for a late lunch, it's going to be an omelet. So, yeah, she said that she's involved in various community meetings and even community meetings with church-going people who are either Hispanic or African American, and they don't have anyone who identifies even as LGB. They go around and obediently say what their pronouns are. And she said that she avoids it and says her name and what she does, her two jobs, and she just avoids it. Now, I have another friend. Both of these friends happen to be kind of Caribbean extraction. And my other friend said that in her classes, in her master's degree classes, this happens at every class, as if, oh, I guess I changed from last week. And so I have to tell everyone everything about my personal life in this class where we're supposed to be getting onto a book discussion. So she actually said, I am a religious Christian and I don't do that with all due respect. And so far, she's gotten away with it. But this is, I mean, consider the waste of time. This is so redundant. It's, when your name is Dorothy, you don't need to tell your pronouns. And I just made that up. Her name isn't Dorothy. All right. Be well. Don't be gaslit or gas washed and brain lit into any of this nonsense. Sometimes you have to walk away from a relationship. And then you will be strong. Take your walks. Do your stick walks. Do stuff with your friends. And move on.